Hello YouTube. I'm gonna go ahead and react to this video today. It's brought to you by The Wall. I'll leave a link to their channel in the description. They make really good content and help you just kind of be aware of what's out there for you. So let's go ahead and do it.
To break up with him. No. No. I don't want to hear but this, but that. I love him. I love him. No, the
Is this
fuck you
her
don't.
voice? She
He
sounds
treats you
annoying.
like shit. And we
She's,
both know it, honey. And you
uh,
know what? You need to treat yourself way better. And you're not treating yourself better by staying with a man with a god complex who probably is not even cute.
I love how we get no context on the situation. It's just literally this girl complaining on social media. You have nothing better to do than to complain about whatever it is you're complaining about. I don't even know what she's complaining about. Yeah, that's a little loud.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll see how a woman gets upset when she sees her
hmm
ex-partner years later, now married with kids. She comes up with an elaborate
Well, I
plan
could
to
tell you
break up his
already why
marriage
she's
because
upset.
she claims to be better than his current wife. She feels she doesn't owe anyone anything and
Mm.
wants him no matter what. Your support is super important to us. Give us a like and subscribe to the channel. We're aiming for 150,000 subscribers before the end of
That's
the year.
awesome. Congrats.
Share your experiences and advice in the comments. That's what helps this community grow. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. Let's get started.
How much money is in your guys' bank account?
I got like 500 right now.
Really?
I'm trying to work as much as I can. It's just hard.
I got about like 80K ish around there.
Holy shit.
Where do you get that
80,000.
money from?
It's like I've been saving and
Saving? What do you mean saving? You work like 2 days a week. You wouldn't make that much.
unlike you don't save your money.
Because I spend it all on you.
And that's why I get to save.
And this is when you break up with women like this. This is ridiculous. You know, no. Don't even spend money on women. If you're gonna spend money on a woman, jeez, let me try that again. If you're going to spend money on a woman, you better make sure she's damn worth it.
Whether you're saving or not, even over your entire life, you're not getting that much money
If
back.
all she's
Now,
doing is
go
mooching off
further in
you,
a
dump
relationship,
her.
does that not
That is
matter to you?
not
It matters, but I'm
not
not
a
gonna spend my money to do
good
it.
woman.
So you don't care
No.
about spending any of your money on me?
No.
Like I bought,
No,
like
I'm
over
not gonna spend
Valentine's
my
Day, I bought you
Of
like.
course
Wow.
you should spend your money on me.
Why does it not
Wow.
reciprocate though?
Because it doesn't.
This is wild. I can't believe this. I treat you for everything. You just don't care. This is crazy.
Sorry.
Can pay for everything?
Yeah, that's the thing. She doesn't care. Dump her. If a woman is not willing to at least take you out to eat every now and then, what are you doing? Why are you sinking money into something that's not worth the investment? Women are an investment. If they're gonna show you that they're not worth the money or the time to be invested in, you don't do it.
It's that simple. He's the man. He should pay. I'm gonna save my own money.
This type of
That's
woman marries you,
sickening.
divorces you, and then you realize she's always had a separate bank account with
Yep,
more money than you. And no matter how
exactly.
tough things got, she never lent you a hand. Plus, what kind of job does she have to save up so much money? Man, she's playing you. You're just this woman's simp. She works
Exactly.
2 days a week and magically has $80,000 saved up. Funny, because the math doesn't add up. Brother, open your eyes.
Yeah.
Women who
The math adds up if the guy's paying the rent, paying all of her bills, and she's, let's say she's making 600 every 2 weeks if she works part-time. You could save up quite a bit of money, if you're making 1,200 a month. But also, she might have gotten some inheritance or something passed down, or that's the only thing I could think of. But we don't know the story. I'm not going to speculate. That's just my opinion.
act like this don't
But
love you.
that's
They use
no.
you. They hoard
Yeah.
their money while draining your account because they know you'll fall into the role of the provider without questioning anything.
Yup.
Why do they do it? Because they know how to play the social expectations game, where you pay because you're the man. But a woman who truly
Well, it's society. It's society as a whole. For the longest time, society as a whole, meaning everyone that contributes, that works, it has always been socially acceptable that a man go out and work and provide. It's never really been superiorly acceptable that women go out and do that. And then the women that do go out and do that, they go out and they make money. They're not having their husbands stay at home. They want them to work and provide. So really we're in a world where it really doesn't benefit men to get married, because if you get married to a woman that works, you're not getting that money. And so many other creators have said this, right? You're not getting that money because she's never going to spend it on you. She's going to spend it on herself, or she's going to mooch off of you. So it's better to just go work, take care of yourself, and don't get involved with these women, because what these women do not understand is that they are not an asset. They are a liability. If half the time you got in a car and 50% of the time you got in that car, you were going to get in an accident, would you go drive? No, you'd be like, no, I think I'll take the bus or walk. So it's the same concept. If a woman is going to initiate divorce 70% of the time, let's be gracious here and say 60%. If a woman is going to initiate the divorce 60% of the time, that's still over half the time, right? So you go, okay, I have over a half chance to get screwed over. I'm just not going to take that risk. And that's what men are doing now. You're seeing more and more men do their own thing because there's no incentive. You need to incentivize men. You need to give men an incentive to get married. There's no incentive for men to do that. So what's the point?
Respects and values, you won't let all the weight fall on you. Learn to distinguish between a partner and an opportunist. One invests with you. The other just waits to see you fall while she counts her
Exactly.
money. Remember, a woman who wants to build a life project with you helps you become the best version of yourself.
Yup,
She rows with you
exactly.
in the same direction. This one clearly just sees you as another step on her way to
Just
her
another
destination.
person to use.
Hey, there's Dusty with a spicy story for you. Oh, almost forgot to hit the button. It's spicy! Got a real ghost pepper of a story here for you. This story is titled, I've Done Everything I Can to Break Up My Ex's Marriage. I probably sound like an asshole,
Why
but I
would you
don't
want to
even
do
care.
that?
I was with my ex for a year and he broke up with me. 3 months later,
Okay.
he started going out with some other girl, and now 3 years
Look inward. You might be the problem, lady.
since, they're married with a kid. I have no clue, but he
Seriously,
sees in her
why?
like she's not his
Don't you have anything better to do than ruin other people's lives?
usual type. She's a bit chubby, if anything. She worked a mediocre job, and I could say some more things. In short, he can do so
Again, women think that men care about money. If you're a little bigger, and you're pleasant to be around and you are not annoying, men are gonna take that over a woman that makes all this money and is in shape. That's unpleasant to be around. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Let me know. Am I wrong? Do you disagree with me? Feel free to put that in the comments.
much better than her. Wow. OP's special. I've been wanting to talk to him for so long, and I saw them at a restaurant, and I took my chance and just went over to their table. Immediately, he
This is
told me that
scary.
she's his wife and told me to leave them alone.
Yeah, good on the man. That's weird. Why would your ex-wife want to come up to you? She's your ex for a reason, and you're his ex for a reason. Why are you even engaging in that?
I thought that after being together for a year and having no contact for so long, he would at least want to have a small conversation with me.
No, he doesn't want to talk to you. You're divorced. Are you freaking serious? This is legit? Like the amount of delusion.
Bish.
Yeah, Delulu, exactly. Exactly.
Him denying me that made me really angry, and I ended up telling his wife that she's nothing
Oh
like
my
his
God,
usual type,
dude.
and she should watch out before I left, and she was clearly emotional at hearing that. After that, I was determined to get closer to him, and I applied and got a job in the same division of the company he works at, but on a different team and one level lower, so I've seen him around the office a few times and tried to interact with him a little, and all it got me was a meeting with HR. I got a membership at the gym he goes to and figured out what time he goes each day.
Yeah, that's called being a stalker. Why would you get a job just to see what your ex-husband's doing? That's creepy as hell.
And I've been showing
Get a life and move on. That's creepy.
up at the same time and trying to make conversation there, and still nothing. You're stalking him!
Exactly.
She says all of these things like it's perfectly normal. She says all
Exactly.
these things like
Like,
yeah. Of course he wants to talk to me. I guess most stalkers have to be
that's
delusional.
creepy,
Right?
bro.
Like being delusional is a prerequisite for being a stalker, I would think.
Here we have a woman with a delusional ego. I've
Oh
always
yeah.
said that women have bigger egos than men. When they see another woman happy with the man they once had, it fills them with envy.
And this is where I diverge from these channels. I think it's mostly women's fault, but I think there's a good section of it that's not. Because when you're constantly living in a state of validation, you're being put on this pedestal, you believe that's how reality is. Really, what needs to happen if we want to see this change is it's a societal issue. We need to stop putting women on a pedestal and showing them the reality of the world. You should still respect women, but we shouldn't be putting women on a pedestal. I'm going to say it, and I'm probably getting a lot of hate for it, but I really don't think we should. If women want to do everything that men can do, then they can be treated equally, just like men. And that means you don't get a pedestal, you don't get all these pretty privileges. You're one of the boys. You get to work, you get to slave away at a 9 to 5 job, you get to work overtime with little pay, you get to let the government screw you because that's what they do all the time.
Especially if they're still single. After all, a
Hmm.
woman's worst enemy is another woman. This woman is still hurt that he left her, that he never came back for her. Seeing him now, likely more accomplished, better off, with a stable family life alongside this new woman, of course, makes her envious.
Right.
She's looking at the life she could have had but didn't know how to keep. She seems like the typical woman who thinks that just because she looks good, a man should always be at her feet.
Yeah.
Seeing that he left her for a woman who's less attractive than her, but knows how to care for her man drives her crazy. And then there's all this harassment she's directing at this man. If it were a man doing this to a woman, he'd already be in jail. Ironic, isn't it?
Well, we
But
already
let's
know this.
continue.
Let's move past into
I've told. What do you
equality.
mean, not
Like, we
necessarily?
really,
Says someone like they have
peop
experience.
people need to stop bringing this up, okay? It's not gonna change. The men are villainous. That's what society says. Men are bad. Women are good. So you just say, okay, great. I'm the villain. I'm ignoring you. Ignore them. Ignore them. If you have to interact them with at work, you keep it professional. You never do anything that deviates from work ever.
It's not me looking at
It's
the
not
past trying
worth
to
the
figure out.
risk. It's not worth the risk. Don't do it. If Tiffany comes up to you and asks you what you like to do in your spare time, you know what, Tiffany, that's a topic for off the clock. Let's keep it work appropriate. And you move forward and you move on. And
What
what's
happened
what's human resources gonna do? Come in you and say, well, you were talking about work-related topics with your coworker. How dare you?
years before we
I'd
got
like to see them try and fire you.
together? Candy gets what she wants. I've told him that he can do better and I want us to give our relationship another shot. And when he pretends that I'm not even there, I'll just leave to avoid the embarrassment. I feel a little bad since his wife really comes off as a really shy and sweet
Oh
person
my
who loves
God,
him,
she's
but I really want
crazy,
to get him
bro.
back and I don't owe her anything at the gist of it. I'm blocked on all social media and I tried reaching out through a burner phone number app and no response to that either. It feels like I don't even exist to him. At the very least, he could give me one conversation.
No, he doesn't need to give you a conversation. You are correct. You do not exist to him. It's called a divorce.
I mean, just a few years ago, he was in love with me. There is quite literally nothing
Yeah, because you weren't divorced.
his wife has that I don't, and I know I would be an amazing partner to him if he would just give me a chance. I'm so frustrated right now.
You had your chance. It's called being married. You were married to him once. That was your chance.
I can't even process this. I just want to talk to somebody about this, but I have no one who won't just cut me off if I do. That's the end of the story. They have kids, right? He's married. They have children. That escalates the danger level of this whole thing, does it not? Because if she wants him bad enough to herself, where is she willing to stop?
Exactly.
Where is she willing to stop? She just wants one conversation.
And then one conversation turns into two, and then two conversations turn into four, and then four conversations turn into eight. It doesn't end. You can't give these types of people leniency. You have to put your foot down and keep it there.
The world needs an RO against you, OP. The world. Hey, Brett Maples, member for 13 gosh heckin' months, says his wife has one thing you don't, and that's him. 100%. 100. I'm not going to tell. Yes, I am going to tell you. I saw all these comments that were like, she has him. And it didn't hit me until I read your comment, Brett, that's what that meant.
Yeah.
I was like, she has him, like, OP has him in a basement or something? Like, y'all think that she's already taken him and now she's writing this post? I took it a way different way than I think you all meant it. She has him. Yes, it's something that she doesn't have. But in her mind, like, she still does. He's
Yeah.
just, they're on a break in her mind, right? And now she's like, okay, quit playing. It's time to come back.
That's not how this works.
That's
Yeah.
not okay. It's 100% not okay. What's up, Tater?
That's her comment.
Oh my goodness. Okay. We have her.
There's just 3 of them.
We have her comments to read back here.
Gives you more.
Fuck up, you crazy bitch whore!
Exactly. She has something you don't. Women don't understand that men mature. Unlike her, a man can put up with
However, in my opinion, I think it takes us men a lot longer to mature because, well, at least in my experience, there's really no reason for me to mature. Now that I'm older, I'm just kind of tired of that partying life, that hookup life. You kind of want something more out of life than that, and you just becomes tedious. I think everyone eventually gets to that point where they go, it was fun, but I don't really want to do this anymore. It's boring.
with bad treatment from some women in his youth. But when he's building his life and reaches a point of stability, he wants a woman who brings him peace.
Yes.
Let me be clear.
Exactly.
There's nothing better in life than being with a partner who sees you as the prize.
Most men that I know will date a broke woman if she is not annoying to be around, bringing him peace. That cannot be said as for women. Women do not date broke men.
That's why I tell men, if a woman doesn't see you as the best option she can get, she won't love or value you.
Correct.
Just like this ex-girlfriend didn't. It's not about physical appearance or having a mediocre job, as you claim. The real issue here is your ego and your inability to accept that you've been left behind.
Exactly.
What you're doing isn't just toxic.
Not left behind, it's her inability to accept, to move on, to let go of what she had. It's too late. You made your choice. Now you get to lie in your bed, as they say. You made your bed, now lie in it.
It's pathetic.
It's taking
Do you
accountability.
honestly think showing up at his restaurant or following him to his gym will make him realize how amazing you are? Spoiler, it won't. All you're doing is reinforcing the reasons why he chose someone else. Your actions aren't love, they're harassment. Complaining that his wife is shy and sweet only makes it clear that your real issue is envy and jealousy toward her. Don't get it twisted, you're not fighting for him. You're trying to feed your wounded ego. He didn't block you because he's uninterested. He blocked you because he's...
Well, and honestly, I think deep down this woman knows the truth, but there's a psychological thing, I can't remember what it's called, where people lie to themselves until they believe it's true because they can't accept the truth, the reality of the situation.
tired of you.
He already reported me to HR, so I stopped approaching him at work. She definitely does not have a better body than me, I promise you. I know I'm horrible, but after everything, am I not at least owed a single conversation to plead my case and tell him how I still feel?
No, you're not.
I know it's ridiculous, but I
You're not
truly
owed
want him to
anything.
be mine again. I know what I bring to the table, and it's a lot more than his wife does. I'm struggling with the fact that he can't even give me a conversation. I mean, I will give her this. She is persistent.
Right.
Yes. She is determined.
I agree.
This is like Pat Mahomes when they're down with 2 seconds left in the fourth quarter. He's like, it's mine. We win. And it happens. Like, how far is she willing to go? That's the question here, because yes, his wife is in danger. Their kids are in danger. She has the absolute delusion. Her reality is that they are destined to be together. And the only thing in the way is his shitty wife and his shitty kids. She didn't mention the kids except that he has them in here, but I guarantee you this has entered her mind. Could they be together and those kids become hers? I don't know that she likes to share. I don't see that happening. This is look, when somebody enters into a relationship with someone else, they have made their choice. When they got engaged,
Exactly.
they cemented that choice. Whenever they got married, the choice isn't going to change. The only thing you're going to get yourself is a conversation with a judge. That's it. This is dangerous. This is delusional. This is not okay. If somebody chooses not to be with you, they've chosen not to be with you. They haven't done that to dare you to try harder. They've chosen another human being. And I can't imagine why this relationship fell apart. What was she like when they were together? If you had to guess,
Right.
what would you guess for her age? Sound off. Lurkers, you too, sound off. If you had
I would guess 28.
to guess what her age was, what would you guess? This is like a delusion where you know, like as
It's
a young
probably older.
adult, you enter the
Yeah.
world, especially like a young adult leaving college. Like what kid doesn't graduate college or high school and think, all right, I'm gonna go kick this world's ass now. Give me 1 year, I'll be a millionaire. Put that Ferrari on hold for me. Like you just enter the world with all this brazen confidence, right? And you got to go a little ways before it kicks you in the balls, and then you grow from it. This world hasn't kicked her in the balls yet, or the silicones,
Yeah.
whatever. She hasn't been gut checked by life yet to get an adjusted worldview where she comes from. You know what? This could easily be like the daughter in the last story if dad doesn't get like the full blown spoiling under control and like not teach her.
Right.
It's just the world is mine. I get what I want. I want him, and he's married to some other bitch. I know what I must do. Everything.
Yeah.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah, exactly. This person's never had a reality check. They've always gotten what they wanted in life, and now that they are not getting what they want, they are throwing a adult tantrum, basically.
And then they say men are the hunters. Women have always been the real hunters. What this woman is doing happens to many high-value men with stable marriages. Women like this shamelessly throw themselves at these men. This is why solidarity among women doesn't exist. She sees that he has a family and children, and she doesn't care. She wants him for herself. This isn't love. It's a desperate attempt to control a man who clearly wants nothing to do with her. And the most
Yeah.
unbelievable part is her twisted logic. She still thinks he owes her a conversation.
Correct.
No,
She
sweetheart.
doesn't.
When someone blocks you on every platform and avoids all contact, the message is clear. You're not part of his life. And the
Yep.
only conversation you deserve.
It's not superiorly similar, but I was engaged to a woman, and it wasn't all her fault, but long story short, and this is hard for me to say because this is probably one of the things I'm really ashamed about in life. I messed around. A woman claimed I was the father of her kid, and I didn't tell her. I should have told her. And we were engaged, and she broke off the engagement, right? Because of that. So it's, I'm willing to admit it. I should have told her. That's partially my fault. But then she wanted to be friends. I'm like, no, you made your decision. You don't get to be my friend after you ended it. She gave me the ring back, and it was painful. It hurt. But I got over it, and I moved on, and I feel like I'm a better man from it, and I learned. And the whole thing, I went to go take a paternity test, and the woman who claimed I was the father of a child never showed up. So, don't know. But anyways, let's keep going.
Is with a judge issuing a restraining order. And then there's her arrogance. She claims she has more to offer than the current wife. Really? If you were as amazing as you think, he wouldn't have left you, let alone built a family with another woman. This man chose someone who brings him peace, not chaos. But you, in your delusion, keep acting like the world owes you something. The truth is,
Exactly.
you can't stand not being the center of his universe. He found something with her that he never had with you. Someone who isn't toxic or controlling. And for you, the wall awaits, because the wall doesn't forgive.
Here is my experience with age gap relationships. When I was 16, I started dating a 20-year-old. I was like, oh my God, like I got myself like a mature ass man. Like he's a man. He was a pedophile. I had myself a pedophile. This relationship was so fucked up.
Okay.
I haven't talked about it on here. Honestly, I didn't want to. The reason I am talking about it is because if there's a girl that was like 16-year-old me out there that was in the same position, maybe this story can help her get the fuck out. But I was a junior in high school and he was old as
You didn't want to talk about it, yet here you are talking about it. Like, you're not, you're literally contradicting yourself.
shit. But when I was 16, 16, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I was like, I got myself a man. Like, I got, like, he's mature. He's like, oh, he thinks like he's a man. Oh, he was a fucking loser. This man lied to me about being in college. When I was 16 years old, this is my first boyfriend, first, like, basically everything ever. I think he's my knight in shining fucking armor. Like, I think the heavens above sent him to me, and I'm like, my man, my man, my man. But in reality, it was fucked up. Not only just fucked up because of what actually happened during the relationship, it was illegal. I was 16 at the time. I think knowing all
How do you not know that it's illegal to date someone when you're a minor? Like, are you telling me you just magically stumbled across this man and was like, oh man,
those
No,
things at
no accountability.
16 years old
Takes two to tango. Should he have dated her? No, he shouldn't have. But should she have gotten in that relationship? No.
was like, ooh, this makes it like fun and risky. I'm
Victim
letting you know
card.
right now, you're gonna look back and be like, what the fuck? Because that's what I did. When there's an age gap like that, specifically when you're talking about teens and 20-year-olds, there's a huge power dynamic. Like, normally the older person is in charge of the entire relationship because they'll use the
Really?
line like, well, I'm older, I've been through a relationship before, you're new to this, like all those things. But the power dynamic is so dangerous because they use that to get whatever the fuck they want. And especially it being my first relationship, he would use things against me like, no one's ever gonna love you the way I will. I'm like, bitch, you really barely even fucking love me. When you're 16 years old and you have
Again, you could have literally avoided all this by just not getting in a relationship with an older man.
someone who you think has
Simple.
lived a life, you're going to believe everything they say. This relationship became so toxic that at 17 years old, he moved in with me and literally became
Okay, again, did he point a gun to your head? You're not giving any context. He moved in with you? So were you living on your own? Like, your story is not making any sense, woman.
this kid's mother. He moved in with me because his mom was gonna make him pay rent, and he was like, well, I can't afford rent. And at that time, I'm like, oh my god, she's so cruel for that. That's fucking reality, bitch. Like, that's growing up. Like, you gotta pay your own rent. So I was 17 years old. I was working like 35-hour weeks, and I'd come home to this motherfucker chilling on his iPad, not in school, working 10 hours a week at a grocery store. Like,
Women do this to men all the time. Yet you want me to have sympathy for you that he does it to you?
I was financially supporting the both of us because that's
Again, women do this all the time. So why all of a sudden is it not appropriate for men to do it?
what I thought I had to do because I was groomed and manipulated into
So it's grooming when a man does it to you, but it's completely normal. That's what a man's supposed to do, right?
thinking that.
Okay.
What about two?
Let's start with the basics. This is
I'm
both
sure he'll say
illegal
the same
and morally
thing.
disgusting. At 16, a young girl doesn't have the maturity to grasp the gravity of what she's facing. And here we have the loser in his 20s, the Chad, a man who brings absolutely nothing to the table but knows how to manipulate her with lines like, no one will love you like I do. Of course, the power dynamic is set.
Again, I don't agree it's wrong that this person did that, but again, it's pretty common knowledge among people. When I was 16, I knew not to be dating people who were 18 or older. Like, how do you not know that? It's pretty common knowledge that it's illegal to date a minor.
Set up for him to take advantage while she believes she's in a mature relationship. There's no maturity here, just a failed adult exploiting someone naive. And here's the real core of the issue: the absence of a present father. When a 16-year-old girl
Yeah.
thinks dating a loser in his 20s is an achievement, it's clear something went wrong at home. A
Wow, I'm
present,
actually shocked he
strong
didn't
father doesn't just
say
teach
it.
his daughter to recognize her worth, but also to spot these chads before they enter her life. But since the trend nowadays is to push fathers away, reducing them to nothing more than a paycheck without the ability to be involved or guide their children, scenarios like this end up happening in women's lives. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go,
Good points, but yeah, I still stand by my point. Like, how do you not know that? Like, are you telling me your mom, if she comes from a single parent household and it's a mother, is not telling you that? And if she isn't, then you should be blaming your parent for not giving you the direction and guidance in your life, because that is the parent's job to raise their children. So really, you should be holding yourself accountable and also that man accountable. I didn't hear a single statement where she was like, I shouldn't have put myself in that situation, but I was young and dumb, and now I've learned. Instead, she's like, oh, I was utilized for my resources. And I don't want to hear it. Like, if the roles were reversed, it would be completely acceptable for a woman to do that to a man. So that's a bunch of bull crap. But anyways, end of the video. Thank you for watching. This is my reaction. Have a great rest of your day.